spoke exactly how I saw it. You know, one night when I was 12, out on a hot summer night, just sitting there, what happened, what had happened to me when I was a college student going through a tough time, something that had appeared to me. So we just basically were able to finally speak from the heart and tell what happened, but we were able to cover other chapters as well, like Chupacabra and Mothman, throwing a little bit of cryptozoology as well, as far as just trying to get out there in the public what was about what. I mean, paranormal includes a lot of different things, so we covered it all.
Definitely.
Mitch in our chat room actually just said he enjoyed the book much.
Mitch Silverstein.
Thank you.
Or Silverstein.
It's a great book. I mean, honestly, we had no bad feedback from it. And you're very fortunate when that happens, because for a lot of beginners, just looking into how do we become a ghost hunter, it's a great, great resource. Just go up on Facebook and social media, find the best teams that you can. Just research. Don't go on the first website you find or the first. Well, so and so is part of this team. And the reason why I don't go for so and so as part of this team is because that's how I learned. You know, I learned that becoming a part of TAPS wasn't the way to go. So there were other teams that I had to join personally, because TAPS didn't have the same morals and beliefs that I believed in at the time. Maybe they believed in something that Hollywood could sell, but not necessarily something that Shannon Sylvia would believe in and want to practice for the next couple of years.
Right. Now, any of our listeners who are interested in getting that book, you can actually get it on Amazon.com if you want to check it out there as well. And I think actually on your website as well, which is ShannonSylvia.com.
It's up on ShannonSylvia.com, TarotRockProductions.com, StripperPublishing.com, Amazon.com. The book is for sale in every bookstore across the United States that sells any books from Stripper Publishing. So you can actually find it in England if you tried. So there are places you can find the book, but if anyone listening wants to find a book, I will certainly most likely sign that with a personal message for you at no additional charge. You can just contact me right off the website. No problem.
That is sweet. Now, I appreciate your very forward, blunt, honest parts of you. I love that in people. I hate people that kind of beat around the bush and, they're like, I don't know. It's like, just ask you a question, or tell me the truth, or, you know what I mean? And that's something I really appreciate about you. And I think in the past you went through a bunch of people talking about your reasonings for no longer being on Ghost Hunters International, and everybody had their own versions of, it was because of Paranormal State, it was because they didn't like her, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of explain to our listeners what happened, the truth behind what happened.
What really happened was that I got my attorney here in downtown Leominster. My attorney got me out of my contract in August of 2008, many months after the January 1st episode, because I was opening up a day spa in Westminster, Massachusetts. And I had notified Pilgrim Films that I could no longer be a part of their waiting list, basically. All the cast members would be, the formal first 6 were the first 7 episodes. Anything after that, they were going to kind of contract you, which means that you were able to be called at any moment in time to go around the world at any moment's notice. And I said, at that point in my life, this is way too difficult for me to do that. And I was really, really, really sick with the flu the day that Rob Katz called me, tell me that we were going to New Zealand for 6 weeks. Wow. Now, 6 weeks meaning you're boarding a flight, you're gone for 6 weeks from your job, from your husband, from your family. My head was in the toilet that day, bad, and I said, I have to call you back, I'm throwing up. He didn't care. So I called him back later, maybe 20, 30 minutes later or an hour. I don't know how long it took me, but I called him back later. I said, look, Rob, I'm wicked sick. I don't know what got into me. It was some kind of flu. I was always sick. After we got back from people don't understand that we would film in a different country and be back for only 1 week, and then we had to be on a plane for another week. and then film. So we were always traveling. And when you're always traveling, you risk being sick. So I had just gotten back. I was already with another flu, which is nothing new. And he said, you're going to be, Monday we leave from New Zealand for 6 weeks. And I said, you know what? I can't. I was so sick that day. The fact that he didn't care that I was throwing up in the toilet all day, didn't ask me how I was feeling. I kind of had it at that point. I was already building my new business, and my grand opening was April 14th of 2008. And they wanted me to be gone until May 2008. And I said, I can't miss the grand opening of the Day 5 in building for 2 years.
Right.
And, you know, it was like their way of the highway. And people don't understand that. Oh, my God, what an opportunity. Like, why would you be so stupid? Well, how much are they paying you? And no, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. You have to think about your life and your job. As I mentored other girls on Ghost Hunters International, you don't give up your life for TV for a couple episodes. It's silly and stupid and fraudulent and a waste of life. And at that point, I realized I am sick. They don't even care. We just broke SyFy records, the highest rating SyFy television show in history. We beat Stargate. I used to watch Stargate as a kid. We beat the ratings from Stargate. Did we get a fruit basket or a Hallmark card? We did nothing. We get a phone call saying you need to be in a plane on Monday for 6 weeks to another country. And we're like, you shouldn't be, right? I mean, it was just, sorry for the F, you know.
You're good.
You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand that you're just treated like a product. You are our moneymaker. This is where you need to be. But we weren't on the payroll. We were paid per episode. So if you want to pay me like I'm going to Europe for my whole life for the past couple of years, pay me like I'm going to Europe for the past couple of years. Don't pay me the pity crap that, like, seriously, I made more money working at home here in the United States than I did in one day on that television show. People won't believe me until I really tell them. And I tell people I trust that. But it was just so, at that point, where, like, no. So I called my attorney here and said, yeah, you're so getting rid of this show, this whole everything, get me out of the contract. And they weren't ready to let me go. But we got out of it. So I actually quit the show. I was not fired because of Paranormal State, because when you audition for Ghost Hunters International, in your audition tape, you have to answer the questions on the question sheet they give you. And one of the 10 questions was, were you ever on TV before? So I said, yes. During my videotape review, I was on Paranormal State. This is what we did. As long as you're not on a competing television show, it is not a problem. If you are on Discovery Channel and you were auditioning for another television show on Discovery Channel, that would be a conflict of interest. So, no, I was not fired. This is documented. I quit. This is documented. I've had I have one co-cast member that tried to claim that I was fired. That was during her rough patch in her life, and I forgive her for that. But no, everything's documented. So if people really, really want to get into the nitty-gritty, I can provide the lawyer's name. I can provide the documentation. I can provide that I quit the show, and eventually they let me go in August of 2008 because I did not want to be on call. So they gave us a position.
I could imagine just being, gone at any moment. It's almost like being in the military when you're on call for,
right.
Well, you would know, Steve, because you were in the military. But, I mean, you get notified, okay, you might be leaving, in 24 hours.
I was given less than 5-hour notice that I was gone for 6 months.
I mean, that's crazy to leave everything, to drop everything. I mean, you got bills you got to pay. You got to say goodbye to your family,
But
and
there is a difference. Like, I actually knew it was coming. I mean, I signed up for that.
Yeah.
But, when you
if I signed up
TV,
for an international TV show, that's one thing, but I did not. None of us signed up for an international TV show. When I signed up for the pilot episode, there's an actual photograph of me holding one of those clapboards, and it says Ghost Hunters 2. We were told that the show was Ghost Hunters 2, a spin-off called Ghost Hunters 2, not Ghost Hunters International. We just happened to film the pilot episode overseas. And they said, you know what? This is a great spin-off. Let's do this overseas from now on. We were all shocked. Like, as glamorous as it sounds, you're in Europe this whole time with everything paid for. It's not that glamorous when you're like, oh, my God, I have a life at home in the United States. What do I do? And it's just not that easy. I'm just being honest with you. Like, it's not that easy to just say, I now work overseas full-time. It's not that easy, and especially when they're not paying you for that. So you have to kind of say, holy crap, like, is this worth it to be on TV or to be at home with integrity and to kind of go out when you're on top here? Because that's what I did. And then one by one, every cast member fell. I was the first to finally quit. And one by one, they all quit. They were all gone. And the show failed. So it wasn't a show that was meant to succeed because probably the way it was handled. It was just, you know, if you're going to send your cast members overseas to work for you in Europe in some tough locations, Romania, not a good location. If you're going to send people in tough locations, you have to make sure they're happy, and not just financially. I mean, that's the last thing I mean by happy. Just make sure they're happy and that you pay your employees and that, you know, it's worth it to get a good episode out of the people, and maybe you send them to a place where we have some good activities so we can actually come with good results.
Now, you shared your story on Paranormal State. And in your opinion, I mean, was that a good experience for you, or was it hard for you to go through that?
My experience on Paranormal State was both good and bad because David Schrader, who is a well-known talk show host and paranormal, I don't know what you'll call him, but entertainment guy, not a bad guy, but he had emailed me and said that there's a new college team looking for good cases. I said, well, that's great because TAPS had already come and gone, and they were using my house as a training course, so TAPS members would come and go and train at my condo at the old historic school, but they weren't, because my place is incredible with EVPs. We were providing EVPs almost on command, and still do to this day. I'm not going to. So they were sending TAPS members were coming to my place to learn, but I had emailed Dave back and said, well, if I really want to kind of get to the nitty-gritty, let's try it. So they selected me. I didn't know they were going to do that. But they sent someone out to scout it, and she was awesome. She's like, this is perfect. It's an old schoolhouse. It's the perfect scenario. The Paranormal State came out. They indeed slept over. They did, and did a lot of research. I think back on it now, they were new. They were on camera. None of these episodes had aired yet, so they were just like me. I mean, I was in the shoes. Ryan was very cordial to me. I loved the entire team. Loved them. The production company was awesome. They made sure that we were fed dinner. Made sure we were comfortable. When they didn't want to put I said, we're not putting cameras in my bedroom. They didn't put cameras in my bedroom. Everything was smooth until Ryan Buell wrote a book. And I forget what chapter it was, but he started writing about me in his book about calling me a trainee with Ghost Hunters International, which I was not. I was one of the main investigators. Said that my place, that I seemed like an attention whore, that I was setting up news interviews. That really, really irked me because I was asking them, where are all the news interviews coming from? And they were saying that it's a new pilot, they're pushing it. That LA is pushing news interviews, that they're organizing all of this. They organized an entire news interview with the Boston Herald and required me to meet with this guy at a local hotel for hours. And the guy was totally awesome. It was an amazing interview, an amazing article in the Boston Herald. I didn't organize that. That was them. They were in the interview. The producers, the directors, the cast members, they were all in the interview. I did not organize that. So that really, really, really irritated me with when that chapter came out. I didn't organize the news interviews. That was all their production company. So, no, I'm not an attention whore. I was just going with the flow, sharing my personal home with these people for